Hello and welcome to Blush, the world's first wellness show that's actually entertaining. I'm Hiva and I quit law so I can help you look and feel your best. Together, we get into food, nutrition, all the latest wellness trends, but we also laugh, get silly, drop a few F-bombs, and go on a million tangents. So if that sounds like your vibe, we're about to be best friends. Hello and happy Tuesday. It still feels so fucking weird to not say hello and welcome back to another episode of Blush. I think over time I'll get the hang of it, but for now it's weird, you know? Or maybe do I just say it and you guys just get welcomed back to Blush multiple times every episode? I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I have never been so excited to record an episode. No, that's a lie. I was really fucking excited to record Blush Kitchen, but aside from Blush Kitchen, I would say this is the most excited I've been to record an episode. In fact, I'm way pre-recording it. Oh my God, excuse me. I just had a cute little dainty burp situation, you know, like a little silent burp. Fun fact about me. Wait, I was thinking about this earlier. I think someone needs to start a weekly bet on how long it'll take me to enter into the first tangent of the episode. And I think we only made it a few seconds here. So fun fact about me, I actually have a bit of a burping issue in that I have an exceptionally hard time burping. It's really, really hard for me. I don't know why it's so hard for me. It's a little bit like I'm a baby and sometimes I can burp, but sometimes I have to burp myself like a literal infant. It's a thing. Anyway. So now that tangent is over, I think we're back on track, right? I'm so fucking excited to record this episode. So this episode is actually based on this series I've been doing on TikTok, which I call the Summer Glow Up series. And it starts in, second tangent of the day, second tangent of the episode. So in the Blush Kitchen episode, the first episode of May, I started so many stories that I never actually followed through and finished up. And one of them was this TikTok skinny talk story. So I was starting to talk about how I had started to be back on TikTok after months and months and months of not only not posting on TikTok, but also not even fucking opening the app. In fact, I don't even think it was months. I think it was literally years. I think I have a piece of Korean melon stuck in my teeth. I had a little snacky snack before recording so I wouldn't get faint. I think there's a piece stuck in my teeth. So that doesn't really affect you guys in any way, but it will drive me crazy. So I just want you to know that while I am doing this and I am going to be devoted to this episode, mentally, I'm also elsewhere. So, you know, just important information for you to have. Anyway, so the skinny talk thing. So I was talking about how when I got back on TikTok to post really, but I also was scrolling, I was thrown into the skinny talk algorithm and it was really different for me because my entire experience on social media more or less has been a very, you can't say skinny, you can't talk about weight loss, you just can't be open about these things at all. It's considered problematic and you could get canceled and whatever. And I just got thrown into the skinny talk algorithm. And I will say you still really can't do a lot of these things. Like there's this one chick that I follow, Mina something. She's considered to be one of the main people on Skinny Talk and she blew up really, really quickly. But now that she's really big, she has over 1 million followers and stuff. She hasn't been posting what I eat in a days and a lot of content because so many of your videos have been flagged. So, you know, I still do think you can get in hot water for it. But nevertheless, it was this moment where I stopped and I realized how much for so many years on social media, so many creators have been dancing around the point, right? Through wellness and through various things have essentially been posting skinny talk type content without actually saying it. And it was kind of eye-opening in that I had this moment where I thought to myself and I said, how liberating would it be if I could just be like, hey, guess what? My recipes are really fucking yummy and they're really fucking pretty, but they're also going to help you maintain your weight goals. And don't get me wrong, they're going to do a lot of other things, because really, I would say I design my recipes to hit 3 main points. And these are the things that I care about. They're going to make your body look and feel good. They're going to make your skin good, and they're going to make your mood good. And I care about these things, these 3 things. Like this is my holy trinity. Okay. Some people believe in the body and I don't even know what the real Holy Trinity is, okay? I'm Middle Eastern. I didn't grow up Christian. Sorry. It's a very if you didn't grow up Christian, the Holy Trinity is one of the strangest things you will ever fucking hear in your life. If you grew up with it, it's just normal to you. But I'm telling you, as someone who did not grow up with that, and you can ask any person who didn't grow up Christian and also didn't grow up with a ton of Christian influence, because I grew up in Germany and it's not super religious. Like I had never heard of the Holy Trinity until I was in high school, I think, in America. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? So he's both the Son and God? Like it doesn't make sense. And then what's the Holy Spirit? Like I don't know. And I'm not trying to, like, if that's your religion, amazing, beautiful, like Jesus sounds wonderful, like I'm so happy for you. I'm just saying my personal Holy Trinity is my skin, my body, and my food. So, same. Okay, and I just alienated maybe a portion of the audience. I can't imagine the audience. I can't imagine, given the fact that I say cunt 17 times an episode, I just can't imagine it was like a highly Christian following before this. But yeah, I may have really offended those people right on out of here. I will say I'm deeply spiritual, and I really fuck with Jesus, and I have read a lot of the Bible, both Old Testament and New Testament, not to brag. Actually, in college, I took a Christian studies course. I took it in part because my undergrad, I went to William and Mary. I don't even know, like, what was the point of this episode? Who knows where we're going to go today? No, my undergrad, William and Mary, is one of the oldest schools in the country. And I say one of because William and Mary and Harvard kind of beef over who is the oldest school. So I believe that William and Mary was chartered first, but Harvard started teaching first, or it could be the opposite. Either way, I do think the rightful claim to the oldest college does go to Harvard, but William and Mary has the oldest academic building that is still in use. It's called Wren Chapel. It is an actual chapel. People do get married there. Actually, there's this one girl who was 2 years younger than me who came to William and Mary named Wren. I'm just going to call out her name because I don't give a shit. I'm not going to say anything meaningful about her, but her parents met at William and Mary and they got married in Wren Chapel, and they named her after Wren Chapel. And I always thought that was a cool story. I also always thought she was like a very bubbly and vibrant kind of girly. I never knew her very well, but she seemed really cool. Anyway, she didn't join my sorority, so I really don't know her. So Wren Chapel. Oh, okay. So everyone at William and Mary tries to take at least one course in Wren Chapel at some point throughout their academic career, because why wouldn't you? Like, how fucking cool is that? So I believe I took Christian studies. It could have been something Bible. I don't remember, but we read a lot of the New Testament, which I was largely unfamiliar with. I'd read a lot of the Old Testament because we read that when I was in high school in my literature class, because not as a religious thing, but as a prereq, because so much of literature is actually references the Old Testament. So it really is kind of mandatory reading, and it's stunning work. And then I really liked the New Testament too. I thought the letters were very nicely done. Okay. Now that I hopefully have smoothed things over with our 2 Christian audience members, let's move right back to the point of this episode. I don't know what the fuck I was talking. Oh, skinny talk. So yeah, I had this moment where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I think we've all kind of lied on social media before, and I think it's really fucking problematic. I especially think it's problematic when thin girls pretend they're eating more than they're actually eating on social media, because I think other people see it and they think, oh, okay, so I can eat like that. Like that happened to me when I first joined Instagram in 2016. Did I just sound like such a grandma? I was following all these vegan influencers and they would post salads that were the size of my fucking living room and be like, lunch. And I was like, okay, I guess I should be eating like that. And when I went vegan, I would eat these massive fucking portions and I gained so much weight. And I remember Googling it once and I came across this website and I'm so grateful that I did. And this one chick was saying exactly that. She said, listen, when I first went vegan, I followed all these vegan influencers who talked about eating in abundance, and would post these pictures of these massive fucking meals or these just fruit platters that looked like they were ready to serve 6,000 people. Or like Freely the Banana Girl. Actually, I saw the funniest fucking TikTok. This is just going to be a tangent-y episode. I don't even know if we're going to get to the content at this rate. I saw the funniest TikTok the other night. I literally have been laughing to myself about it so much, even though it was kind of serious. But it starts with this guy being like, hey, does anyone remember Freely this banana bitch? Which is such a strong opening, referring to Freely the Banana Girl, who, if you're not familiar, honestly, don't be. Like, please don't be. Spare yourself. But she is one of Australia's proudest exports, I would imagine. She is this vegan influencer lady who I don't know, at some point, I think in the 2010s or so, was peddling something she called quote unquote Banana Island and would tell people to eat just astronomical numbers of bananas and virtually nothing else. Her big thing is very high carb, low fat, eat fruit in abundance, eat sugar in abundance. Fat is the devil, but sugar and fruit is totally fine. And back then, I would say relative to the shit she does now, she was actually kind of measured in that she really only would pummel fruit. Primarily, that was her big thing. And this guy in this TikTok was like, yeah, breakfast was 10 dates and lunch was 9 bananas. Lunch was 9 bananas kills me because I just can't imagine someone sitting in school and eating 9 bananas for lunch and how people would react. That just sounds so crazy. Anyway, nowadays, Freely is actually really into sugar, as in the white crystallized sugar, and she literally tells people that they should add extra sugar to their fruit. I'm just going to leave that and move right along. And I don't care how far into this tangent I am. Let's just go back to skinny talk. So I think seeing Skinny Talk, I had this moment where I realized I also am someone who hasn't been 100% truthful about things. Like sometimes I might beat around the bush with certain things and not just say, hey, listen, this recipe is a much lower calorie, lighter version of something that you would ordinarily usually enjoy. And you can eat a lot more of it and feel better in your body and also look better. That was part of it. The other part of it was I decided next time I post a what I eat in a day, it's going to be so fucking honest. I'm not going to lie or misrepresent any part of it because I just think that's more harmful than helpful. So yeah, it was this kind of big eye-awakening moment that actually, you know what, does tie into this episode because it really got me thinking about truly what do I care about and truly what are my priorities in this lifetime. And I think that if you're ever unsure about who you authentically are deep down on a soul level versus what has been outside influence and what has been societal programming, I think it can be really fucking helpful to look back at you as a child and think, what were my interests as a child? What was I obsessed with as a child? For example, what movies and TV shows and books was I reading as a child, and which characters did I identify with? What really fueled me? What really got me excited? And in doing this, one thing that I realized is that probably my entire life, I've cared about four things, and that's being thinner, being prettier, being popular, and having a boyfriend. And I have the last one checked off, so that one's kind of off the radar for me now. So I realized that authentically, truly on a soul level, what I truly care about is being beautiful and being popular. And in fact, if you really look at everything in my life, you can see how everything is kind of in service of that. Like if you really, really look at how I spend my day to day, the things that I spend my time researching, the things that I spend. Oh, and also if you want a fun exercise for this, there's this one guy, I'm not promoting all of his work, but this one thing is really interesting. Dr. Demartini, he has this book called The Values Factor. I don't even think you need to read it, although it is interesting and you could read it. But he has a values exercise that you can do on his website, and you're supposed to redo it every once in a while. And it basically asks you all these questions about how you spend your time, how you spend your free time, what you spend your money on, what things are you really organized with, what things are you really consistent with. And it kind of gives you a sense of what you actually value. And his premise is if you're doing it, you value it. And if it's something that you're not doing, it's because there are other things that you value more. And so when I really took a look at that, I realized what I really fucking value is looking good and feeling good and being more bubbly and charismatic and outgoing and having friends and having community and all these things. And so then this was when I decided I was going to go on TikTok again and I was going to post really consistently. And I was like, okay, what is the most kind of base, true, real, not beating around the bush way of representing this? So I started the summer series and I literally introduce every single episode of it, which I do every day, of where I say summer's X many days away. And for the next X many days, I'm going to share tips to help you get skinny, pretty, and popular so you can have your best summer yet. Now, is that the cringiest thing you've ever fucking heard? I would hope so, because I feel like it's one of the cringiest things that's ever been said. I mean, if you have come across things that are more cringy, I would love to know what they are, because I just feel like it kind of can't get much cringier than that. Nevertheless, it is also really fucking honest. It's just honest. And if you're kind of on the same wavelength as me, I feel like you'd stop and be like, okay, I can't believe this dumbass bitch said that, but yeah, I want to hear what she has to say because I do want all those things. Anyway, so I was thinking it could be fun to take that series and package it into a podcast episode and share some of my favorite tips that I've shared there and some new ones and then some foods that go along with it. And I decided to pull 27 of my favorite tips for no specific reason other than I really like the number 27. You know, 7 is my favorite number and 2 is probably my second favorite number. And I really like combinations of 2s and 7s. And I find that to be kind of my angel numbers. Those are the numbers that I come across the most. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. Now, I have broken this down into skin, body, and mood. And I have 9 tips for each. But quite frankly, they all intersect, right? Because things that are going to help your skin usually help your body. Things that help your mood usually help your body and skin, vice versa, vice versa. You know, it all kind of commingles, but that's more or less how I've broken it down. And one thing I do want to say, and I know this is something I've said before, but it bears repeating. I think that I think that pretty privilege is very, very real. I will never deny that. And no one could ever deny that people who are attractive by conventional beauty standards tend to have a far easier life. That being said, pretty privilege is not nearly as powerful as confidence and a strong sense of self-worth and really being firm in yourself. In fact, I have seen many people throughout my life who don't physically look attractive by conventional beauty standards, but who are really, really popular, who are really well liked, who get really good jobs, who date really well, who get all of these things seemingly handed to them, and it's because they are so sure of themselves and so confident. So anytime that I talk about anything aesthetic, it's because it's just a very genuine interest of mine, but on a deeper level, it's only helpful if it's going to make you feel better about yourself. If it's not going to make you feel better about yourself, then it doesn't fucking matter. Because even if you look better to someone else, if you're not feeling better about yourself, you're not going to be more attractive to anyone else. And you're not going to be more attractive to yourself, which is really all that fucking matters in life. Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the cringe. So for skin, my number one tip is to double cleanse. Now, if you listened to last episode, I went really deep into this, so I won't repeat the whole thing, but I did used to think that double cleansing meant just washing your face twice. As it turns out, I was completely wrong about that. It meant first oil cleansing, then using a water-based cleanser. Now, I use for the oil cleanser, and ever since I did the research for that episode last week, I've been doing the proper double cleansing every night, even when I haven't been wearing makeup, which has been literally every single day since I recorded that episode. But I think I'm going to start doing it in the morning too. Now the oil-based cleanser that I use is a Nuha Heartfelt something. All the products that I talk about, I will link and put in the show notes. And the water-based cleanser that I use is the CeraVe Salicylic Acid cleanser, and I use that all over my body too. My number two tip. Oh, and another thing I should say, especially with the skincare stuff, but honestly for everything, keep in mind that we're all different and what works for one person doesn't work for another. And with skin specifically, I am turning 37. Oh, actually, when this episode drops, I will have just turned 37. My birthday is May 18th. So keep in mind my age, and also keep in mind that I have oily, acne-prone skin, and my skin can handle actives very, very well. So if you have drier, more sensitive skin, a lot of the products that I use will not be applicable to you. So my number two tip here is to use a rice milk toner. Now, I use the one by a brand. It's a K-beauty brand. I think it's spelled TIR, but I could be wrong about that. I wouldn't even begin to know how to pronounce it. My best guess would be something like Turter. I don't fucking know. Okay. For a long time, I literally thought the brand was THRI or something because I didn't even bother to look at the product that well. Now, I use the light version of their rice milk toner that has niacinamide and something else in it. So it's a little bit more exfoliating. That's great if you have oily, acne-prone skin. If not, use the regular version. But either way, this shit gives me fucking glass skin. I'm obsessed with it. Number three tip, I think I talked about this last week, but I just started doing this and I will never turn back. After I shower, I use a cotton pad. I put a little bit of a glycolic acid toner onto it and I wipe my armpits. I do behind my ears. I do inside my elbows, behind my knees, anywhere where there's a crevice. It just pulls that dead skin away. And I found that I have literally zero BO. I virtually never wear deodorant. And I also before wasn't really wearing a lot of deodorant almost ever. But now I never get BO anymore. It's fucking amazing. I swear by this shit. Number 4, lip liner. If I were to pick one beauty or makeup product, it would be lip liner. Nothing does more for really, like, you could wear literally nothing on your face, and if your lips look okay, you're gonna look put together. And for your lips to look okay, you really need a good lip liner. I really like the Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut. I think that one's phenomenal. I like the long wear one. And then this girl on TikTok put me on to this one by NYX. I talked about this in the Blush Kitchen episode. I think the shade is Cocoa or something like that. Find a neutral shade that is similar to your lip color, but just a tiny bit more pigmented, or I mean, whatever the fuck you want. But if you want kind of a more natural kind of look, that's what I would do. And then overline middle parts of your lips, but not the edges. If you overline the edges, you will look like a fucking clown. And I mean a literal clown, not, in the Kim Kardashian, oh, you guys look like fucking clowns kind of way, which by the way, I've literally never watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I know that clip. But yeah, it's just gonna make your whole face look so much prettier, and you're gonna feel so much more put together. And along with that, number 5 would be an eyelash curl. Now, I don't wear makeup 99% of the time, but what I've started doing is every morning I'll just curl my eyelashes, and I just feel and look so much more put together. I really like the one by Shiseido. I've never been able to use an eyelash curler before. It just doesn't feel right. They really freak me out. I can't explain it. Well, that's not true. When I was in high school in the 9th grade, I went through a phase where I was friends with these 3 girls, and they were so into makeup. And I mean, I was too. And so every morning before school started, we'd just be in the bathroom fucking caking on makeup. And I also wouldn't remove my mascara all week long and would just add more to it and curl it more. And by Friday, I mean, I can't believe my parents let me leave the house like that. I looked literally insane. Anyway, so back then I did used to use an eyelash curler, but ever since then, I really have not been able to. But the Shiseido one, I think it's flatter. It's less curved. So maybe it's just for my eye shape, it works better. I don't know. But I listened to this one podcast episode with this celebrity makeup artist, and she talked about it, and I ordered it, and it's literally changed my life. So highly recommend that. You could always do a lash tint, lift, whatever. I know a lot of people swear by those, or lash extensions. Listen, I don't know. But having a decent eyelash situation will make your eyes look so much bigger and your face just looks so much prettier. And you honestly don't need product to achieve it. Okay, number 6. Don't use a towel on your face. I know it's less environmentally friendly to use paper towels or whatever to wipe your face, but it's gonna make such a fucking difference in your skin. I think we all kind of have to pick where we can be environmentally friendly and where we're gonna be less environmentally friendly. And this is an area where I've decided I'm gonna be less environmentally friendly. I already don't need animals. Do you know how much I'm contributing? A lot. I don't own a car. I barely am ever even in a car. Okay, let me have my cloth face towels. Now, I do reuse them after I use them. I save them all and then I use them to clean and wipe things, whatever. It makes such a fucking difference in your skin. I use the ones by the Clean Club, I think. And then I have this really chic holder for them. I'll link everything. And along with that, the cotton pads that I've started using, someone told me that they were better, and so I ordered them. I didn't think that cotton pads, there could be a difference in cotton pads. I'm telling you, there's a fucking difference in cotton pads. These are better. Again, I will link them. Number 7, this is actually one of my favorites, and my mom taught me this when I was little. I don't use a brow gel. Rather, I use hair gel. It ends up being so much fucking cheaper. I use I don't even know how to pronounce this. It's like got to glue or something. I don't fucking know. It's a hair gel. It's a very stronghold hair gel. But here's what my mom taught me. It wasn't the hair gel bit. She always taught me when I was little, use a toothbrush to brush your eyebrow hair. Don't bother with those rounded brush things. They don't fucking work. Ignore those. Use a toothbrush. Now, this is what I do. I take the toothbrush, I put a little bit of that hair gel on it, just a tiny, tiny bit, and I brush up, and I kind of shape the ends. Again, you're going to look effortlessly put together. Number 8, this is a really important one. Honestly, invest more in skincare than you do in makeup. The more you invest in your skincare versus makeup, the less you'll need the latter. Now, because people have been asking me a lot, I will tell you all the products that I use, but I do want to preface it with what I was saying before, keep in mind skin type, keep in mind age. But the other thing is right now I'm just in an era where I'm kind of obsessive with skincare, and it's almost like I'm channeling every bit of anxiety and depression I've ever had in my entire life into my skin. You probably don't need this many products. I probably don't need this many products. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So in the spirit of being really fucking honest about what I'm doing, I will tell you everything that I'm doing, but I just want you to know you don't need to be doing all this. So I do the double cleansing with the oil-based cleanser first. It's the Anuha Heartfelt something. I'll link it. And then I do the CeraVe Silicic Acid. And then I use that rice milk toner. And then sometimes I use this peptide toner by Corsex. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. It's a K-beauty brand. I don't always use that anymore, so maybe strike that off the list. And then I do a vitamin C serum. I use the one by Timeless. I've heard it's very, very similar to the SkinCeuticals one, but it's just a lot cheaper. I do love that so far. After that, I use the Timeless Peptide Serum. I'm obsessed with this product. I did not think I would like it so much. And then if this is in the morning before solid core or whatever, sometimes I use this Corsex snail mucin thing or this propolis serum situation. I don't always do it, but it does give a really nice glow. And then I just do my brows, curl my lashes, I go to solid core. Now, this is a little fucked up and I don't recommend this. I take a midday shower because I'll go to I don't shower before solid core. I shower after solid core, or if I do the sauna, then I shower after that. And so I'll wash my face again. I will not double cleanse in that shower. And then often I'll do the vitamin C and the peptide serum again. But that's, I think, a completely unnecessary step for the vast majority of people who don't just randomly shower in the middle of the day. So kind of strike that from record. In the evening, I double cleanse. I do the rice toner. I don't always do the vitamin C because I hear the vitamin C is more effective in the morning, but because I do love it, I do sometimes do it. And then I'll do that peptide serum again, which is literally my new favorite thing. And then I use a retinol. I use the Paula's Choice one. I really like it. I do think SkinCeuticals is kind of the gold standard for retinols, but I've been using this Paula's Choice one. It's far cheaper and I really fucking like it. So I do that. And then I just started using this, so I can't speak to it, and it's really fucking expensive. There's this brand One Skin that does all peptide skincare. It's supposed to be really good. All the research I've done on it is really fucking good. So I use their moisturizer. Again, I don't think you need this. And then I use the Clear Stem moisturizer on top because their moisturizer isn't actually moisturizing. It's more inactive. And then I use the Clear Stem moisturizer as an actual moisturizer, and I like to really glaze it on. Like I really, when Hailey Bieber said you should look like a glazed donut when you're done with your skincare, that's kind of what I go for. And I use the Clear Stem eye cream, and then I use the One Skin eye cream on top of that. So that's kind of everything that I use. Sometimes in the morning, I also use the Clear Stem spray. It does give you really shiny skin, but honestly, I very rarely even remember to do that. And I also gua sha in there. So that's my full skincare routine these days. It does change every 5 minutes. So stay tuned. Next week, I'll probably talk about a new fucking product. Okay. And that brings me to my last tip for skin, and that's to hydrate really, really well internally. It's gonna make you so glowy on the outside. And when I say hydrate really well, I never mean drink more water. I mean, certainly drink more water, but add your minerals in there so it really absorbs. But the bigger thing is drink your fresh coconut water and eat your really juicy fruits, the melons, the yellow dragon fruits, cucumbers, all these tomatoes, papayas, these really juicy fruits. And I know some of those we consider vegetables, but biologically they are fruits. So I'm just looping them all together. That's going to do so much more for hydrating you than drinking plain water. Trust me, if you don't believe me, try it. Also, nettle infusions are really good. I remember when I was in Australia this last time, the first few weeks I was so fucking constipated and I just kept drinking more coconut water and more mineral rich water and all these things. And it still wasn't working. I don't know what the fuck was going on with my guts back then, but eventually it got under control. But one thing that happened was my skin was never juicier or plumper in my entire fucking life than it was there. Also, my teeth got really, really white and I couldn't figure out why. I don't know if it's related. If anyone knows, let me know. But I often get a lot of staining on my teeth and I don't even drink coffee or matcha regularly. But in Australia, I was drinking coffee and matcha almost every single day and I had zero staining on my teeth. They were pearly white. My skin was just so firm and juicy and plump. Oh, it was amazing. So yeah, the best fucking thing that you can do for your skin is to hydrate really, really well. Okay. Woo, I'm like kind of exhausted. Let's move on to body. Number 1, don't take supplements that you don't need. Now, this is coming from personal experience from me this week. So I am a bit of a supplement junkie. I probably take way more supplements than I need to take, and it's probably not great. And a lot of it just stems from, I get almost like wellness FOMO, where I'll hear someone say that this one supplement did something for them. And I'm like, oh, great, I should try it. I mean, I feel fine, but what if I could feel so much better? So last week I came across this girl's TikTok and she was talking about certain supplements and stuff that she takes. And she mentioned a DIM supplement. And I know DIM is really good for balancing hormones and it helps a lot of people with bloating and with hormonal mood swings and hormonal acne and all these things. And I was like, you know what? I've heard about it for years. I should just try it. I ordered it. And yesterday I'd been taking it for a few days. Yesterday I started bleeding and I am in my follicular phase. I haven't even ovulated yet. And so I was like, wait, am I getting my period? I don't get it. Why am I bleeding? Why am I bleeding? And I was talking to my mom about it and she's like, you need to go to the doctor. And I said, no, I will. But I don't think this is a big deal, but I just can't figure out why I'm bleeding. And all of a sudden I was like, shit, I bet it's the DIM supplement. So I asked ChatGPT and ChatGPT was like 100% it's the DIM supplement. Yes, it can cause spotting. And then I realized I've also been really fucking constipated, not really constipated, but I'm just not eliminating fully every day and kind of bloated. And I was starting to get kind of deep cystic acne. It's because I didn't need the DIM supplement. I didn't have excess estrogen. And so it was just bringing my estrogen too low, which was then giving me all these symptoms that it's actually kind of often supposed to cure. And so I was like, oh, fuck me. Like, why did I do this? Why did I just take the supplement that there was no evidence that I ever fucking needed? Why did I do this to myself? Anyway, so that's my story here. Do not take things unless you actually think that you need them. At best, it's a massive waste of money. At worst, you're going to give yourself problems that you didn't even have before. And I recognize the hypocrisy of this, but let's just brush right past it. Okay, my number 2 tip is what I call my 3-2-1 overnight sculpting formula. It is 3 coconuts, 2 yellow dragon fruits, and 1 sauna session, but not in that order. I just presented in that order because it's more fun to say 3-2-1 than it is to say 1-3-2. But you would do it sauna first, then the coconuts, then the yellow dragon fruit. It's going to help you sweat things out, reduce water weight, eliminate, it'll move the bowels. It'll get you snatched in a matter of hours. Is this a long-term thing? No, it's a very surface level thing. If you have a big event you want to go to or something, highly recommend trying the overnight sculpting formula. Number 3, my 90-33 rule. This is a really helpful framework for muting food noise. If you're someone who's prone to obsessing over food, thinking about it all the time, overeating, even binge eating, 90-33 will help shut that down. So it's 90 grams of protein, 30 grams of resistant starch, and also 30 grams of fiber. And 3 juicy fruits every single day. Are these numbers hard and fast? No, they're a little bit arbitrary. There's wiggle room. And also, if you're not used to eating a lot of fiber and resistant starch, do not automatically go for 30 grams. That's a lot. You're not going to feel well, but gradually work your way up there. Now, the protein, everyone says protein for satiety. Obviously, protein's super, super important, not just for making you feel full, but also amino acids are precursors for a lot of the neurochemicals, the neurotransmitters in our brain that are responsible for us being in a good mood. And when you're in a good mood, you don't sit around binging all the time. So that's actually the bigger reason why I like the protein. The resistant starch and fiber feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which affect a lot of your cravings, but also the beneficial bacteria fermented and produce short-chain fatty acids, which are also sometimes called postbiotics. And those short-chain fatty acids then help increase the GLP-1 in your body, which is a satiety hormone that basically tells your body, like, we're good. We don't need to keep eating. Like, we can get up off the couch and put the bags of chips away into the cupboard type vibe. Along with food noise, so I'm like really kind of, I feel like I'm flying through these, but listen, we have 27 to get through. Okay, on that food noise theme, another framework that I think is really helpful is the triple S framework. So that's shopping, sharing, and shows. And what I'm referring to here is if you have a tendency to keep eating even after you're full, especially because you just don't feel satisfied, or it just feels like something's missing, but you're objectively full. Like you've eaten enough, you've eaten even more than enough a lot of the time, but it's like you just can't stop eating. You always have to have something to look forward to after that meal, something that's going to give you a bit of a dopamine boost. Because if your only source of joy in life is eating, then you'll never stop. And you might think, who has that? I was that for so many years. I had barely any social connections. I was working from home for myself. I just had nothing exciting in my life. The only thing that I was excited about was eating. So of course I was overeating because my brain's like, well, after this, it's all downhill from here. But if you have something that you're actually looking forward to after the meal, you'll be so willing to end the meal once you feel full because you want to do that exciting thing. Now, I say shopping, sharing, and shows just because it's catchy and easy to remember, but it can be anything. And the important thing is it doesn't have to be a big thing, right? You don't have to go to a concert every single night. You don't have to go to the box every single night, which, by the way, I still am yet to go to, and I'm really dying to go to the box. Like, hello, will someone take me? Anyway, so I say shopping, sharing, and shows because those are the three that are often really effective for me. So if I have to order something, I'll save it for after dinner, and that way I'll be excited to stop dinner and actually go do that thing. Sharing refers to back when I was dating. If a guy I really liked texted me while I was eating dinner, I would wait till I was done with dinner to text him back because I was excited to text him. So it was this motivational thing. And shows, it can be really helpful. Listen, a lot of us want to pair our favorite show with our meal, which amazing, go off. But if you have a tendency to overeat, especially if you're going to keep eating because you're still watching the show, which I've done a lot of, it can be helpful to save your favorite show for after your meal as a post-dinner exciting thing. And there are so many other versions of this. Whatever it is that'll give you a bit of a dopamine boost, just make sure to not, it shouldn't be like drugs or something, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to introduce a new bad habit in here. It should be something, and with the shopping, be careful too. We don't want to substitute one addiction with another. Anyway, staying on the food noise theme, number 5 is what I call the 3 restriction monsters. And these are kind of the 3 biggest mistakes that people make that tend to lead to food noise. And that is restricting calories, time restricted eating, and restricting macros or certain foods. So for a lot of people, that's carbs, or, for some people it's fats, for some people it's bread specifically or pasta specifically, whatever it may be. As far as calorie restriction, I think everyone knows what that means, so I'm going to brush right past that. And for time restriction, it's when you try to starve yourself all day or, be really rigid with your eating windows and things like that. If you starve yourself all day, you're most likely going to binge at night. There just is no way around it. I did it for 15 years of my life. I can speak about it very, very confidently. You're most likely going to binge at night. Maybe not right away. The first few weeks, it might be fine, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. Just eat during the day. Just eat. There's actually very little evidence that fasting is beneficial, especially for weight stuff. In fact, for weight, we really don't see a difference. Now, there are obviously other benefits to fasting that we do see, but we really don't need to be doing it at very large hours. I think that per usual, we as a society have such an insanely difficult time with balance. So we either think we need to be eating from the very moment we wake up until the very moment we go to bed, or we're like, oh, we're only going to eat for 1 hour out of every day, right? It should be somewhere in between. Balance. Okay, number 6, I wrote poster exercise. Thank God I know exactly what I mean. Nothing is going to make you more attractive than having good posture, because when you have good posture, you seem confident. And when you seem confident, you are really fucking attractive. I think I've told this story 6,000 times, but I used to work with this guy who was much older. He was a good looking older guy, but he wasn't rich and he wasn't particularly outgoing or anything like that. But he would pull the hottest fucking girls I've ever seen in my entire life, like straight runway models. And one day I said, hey, Dan, how are you doing this? I just want to understand, because yeah, you're kind of good looking, but you're also old as fuck and you have no money, which is usually why attractive women date older men. So what exactly is going on here? And he said, listen, the reason that I'm able to do this is because I generally meet women when I'm speaking. He was a tax person. He worked in policy and did research on tax stuff, and he would give a lot of talks on tax policy. And he said, I know tax policy really fucking well. So when I'm talking about it, I seem really confident, and that is what's attracting all of these women. Now, why all these runway models were going to talks about tax policy, I will never know, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I have a quick exercise to share with you that's really, really helpful. You basically put your arms up in a V shape and then pull them down. So you're kind of making a W shape, but you want to pull them backwards when you pull them down. So they're kind of going towards your back. You're pinching your shoulder blades in the back. You want your shoulders to be as low as possible. Think you have really long earrings on, and you don't want the bottom of the earring to touch your shoulders. Shoulders all the way down and all the way back. That is the right posture. Close your ribs and don't overarch your lower back. But this exercise, do it for 5 minutes a day. Watch your posture fucking change. Watch your whole life change. Number 7, take walks after meals, ideally 20 to 30 minutes. If you can't manage that, do what you can manage. It's going to improve your digestion so much. It's good for your metabolic health. You're going to just feel better. Trust me, it is the best thing that you can do. And also, if you feel so full after a meal that you feel like you can't walk, you ate too much. And if you feel like too run down after a meal to walk, you didn't eat enough. So it's a good measure. You should be able to take a 30-minute walk after meals. Now, sometimes we don't have time for it. That I completely understand. Do your best. If you literally can't leave the house, try walking in place, try cleaning up. That'll force you to move a little bit, but just move after meals. Number 8, this might be a little bit counterintuitive. Never skip sleep ever, including for exercise. So if you're out here thinking like, maybe I could wake up early and go to that 7 a.m. workout class before I go to work, unless you're able to go to bed earlier, don't do it. The exercise will not offset the negative impact from not getting enough sleep. Trust me. Trust me. Sleep should always be number 1. Number 9, this is specifically if you are having a hard time sticking to intentions that you set for yourself, like for example, exercising, or whatever else it may be. Honestly, whatever habit that you feel like you're not following through with, it's not that you don't have discipline. It's not that you don't have motivation. The issue is the stakes are too low. You will never follow through on something if you think it doesn't really matter. So raise the stakes. And I'll give you an example. If I were to tell you, let's say you're trying to go to the gym twice a week and you never go. If I were to tell you, hey, I'm going to murder your entire family if you miss the gym, guess what? Your ass is going to fucking be there. Like, you would wake yourself out of a fucking coma to get to the gym unless you hate your entire family, right? But like, if the stakes are high enough, any of us can do anything. You don't lack motivation, willpower, discipline. That's not the issue. The stakes are too low. Mentally raise the stakes for yourself. And the easiest way, honestly, to do this is to remember your why. Remember why you're trying to do it and constantly remind yourself. Let's say the reason that you want to go to the gym twice a week is because you have crippling back pain all the time and it makes it really fucking hard to do anything. Remind yourself of that and how the gym could help. Or let's say the reason you want to go to the gym twice a week, and I actually don't think this is a very good reason for going to the gym twice a week, but that's neither here nor there, is because you're going to beach week this summer with a bunch of your friends and you never feel comfortable in a bathing suit and you always want to hide when you have a bathing suit on and you just want to, for once in your life, be on a trip where you don't feel like hiding and you just feel comfortable in your body. Remind yourself of that when you're about to skip the gym. Those are the stakes. Those are actually high stakes. Now, the reason I don't think this is really good is because I actually don't think aesthetic goals are a good reason to work out. I think that to achieve your aesthetic goals, you're going to see a lot more movement on the diet front than you are on the gym front. And I think exercise is so fucking important for your health, especially your mental health, but also literally every other part of your health. I just think having non-aesthetic goals for working out is far better, but it's a really effective example. So that's why we're using it. Also, I hate using the term raise the stakes because it brings me back to a really traumatic memory. And I was going to tell the story, but I do feel like I've been recording since the beginning of time. So I'll save the story for another time because honestly, mentally, I don't know if I can do it today. Okay. And that brings us to our last category for mood. Now, my number one tip here is to take creatine, and you would think that that would be under body because that's why most people take creatine, but I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. I'll talk about it until I'm in the fucking grave because thanks to creatine, when I'm going to be in the grave is probably going to be a lot fucking later because I was so depressed and nothing that I tried everything under the fucking sun. Nothing cured it like creatine did. I never saw it coming. That's not why I was taking it. I was taking it because my trainer told me to, but holy shit, right when I hit the 1 month mark of taking creatine, my depression poof went away. Now, will it necessarily do the same to you? No. I suspect the reason that it was so effective for me is because my creatine stores were probably really, really low. And so it built them up and that's why it cured it. I don't think I actually had like a serotonin dopamine problem like I always thought I did. And that's why everything that I tried, like SSRIs or even something like saffron, which is being studied, and it's in some studies we see that it seems to be as effective as SSRIs. Nevertheless, it never worked for me because I don't think I had low serotonin. So it wasn't doing that for me, whereas the creatine did so much for me. Now it's being studied more and more for mental health. And we're seeing really massive results, especially in sleep-deprived people. Again, it might not work for you, but it's something that really, really worked for me. So I do want to highlight it. Do keep in mind my DIM story and the fact that I'm literally bleeding out of my vagina right now for no reason at all other than I started taking a supplement that I didn't fucking need. But with creatine, one thing I will say is that women seem to have far lower creatine stores than men. All of us seem to have kind of low creatine stores, but women especially, and vegetarians and vegans also seem to have lower creatine stores. So if you do fall into those categories, it can be worth trying. I've talked about creatine in past episodes. There was a hot or not episode from earlier in the year that I do think you should check out for more science on creatine. Okay. Number 2 is to have a good Sunday routine that's going to set the stage for your week. Now, a few things that I like to do on Sundays is 1, just think about my goals and my intentions for the week, kind of plan out what appointments I have, what meetings I have throughout the week. I also like to do an outfit plan for the week. Now, I don't go into an office every day, so for me, it's a little bit different. I don't literally plan out what I'm going to wear every day. If I were to go into an office, I actually would sit on Sundays and plan out my outfit for the week so I don't have to think about it. But instead, what I do is I kind of have a casual outfit in mind. So that's day to day when I'm around the house, when I'm just walking Sam, running errands, whatever. I'll have a few kind of mid outfits, maybe 1 or 2 mid outfits in mind for, let's say if I were to meet someone for coffee or I don't know, I had like a doctor's appointment that I just wanted to look a little more put together just for fun or whatever. I'll have a couple of outfits for that. And then I'll have a couple of outfits in mind for if we go out, get a drink, go out to dinner, meet up with friends, whatever it may be. I just have a few outfits. Oh, and a podcasting outfit. I always just kind of plan those on Sundays so I don't have to dick around. I do wear the same thing to Solid Core every day, so I wash it, not to brag, but so that one's a no-brainer for me. Other things that I do on Sunday. So yeah, I plan for the week. I'll make sure I have a few condiments batched. That makes it so much easier to eat healthy throughout the week. And then I just started doing this last Sunday because I have famously not been a nails girl and I still don't have anything on my nails, but I did decide that on Sundays, I'm going to trim my nails and my toes, file them down, push the cuticles back, and I want to start wearing nail polish. Now, I decided to ease my way in this week by just putting a nail serum on my nails, which has peeled off. So that's fun, but I did paint my toes. Now your Sunday routine may be different, but I do encourage you to just take some time to sit with yourself and do things that'll make it easier for you to stay consistent with your goals throughout the week. Number 4, Number 3, be shameless with your goals. And by that, I mean, stop playing small. Really think, what do you actually fucking want in this life? If you were unafraid of what people thought, if you were unafraid of whether you'll achieve it or not, if literally a genie came to you and said you could have anything you want in this life and no one heard the answer and the genie was going to make it come true, what would it be? Dream bigger. I'm not saying aim to achieve it tomorrow because that probably won't happen, but at least know where you're heading towards. Then you can break it up into smaller, more achievable goals. But I think so many of us, myself very, very much included in this, are so afraid of what we actually desire because we think like, oh, who am I to want that? Or, oh, it could never happen. Well, if you're not going to be honest with yourself about it, it'll certainly never happen. I can tell you that much. I can't guarantee you that it will happen, but I can guarantee you that if you don't admit it to yourself, it'll never happen. Number 4 kind of goes along with it. Don't be afraid to be cringy. Honestly, I think our fear of being cringy is one of the biggest things that's holding us back in life. Our fear of looking stupid, our fear of being laughed at, our fear of being judged. Enough. Trump is president. You think he's afraid of being cringy? Have you seen half the shit he says? And he's president of arguably the most powerful country in the world. Now, I'm not saying he's a good role model, but I think we could all learn a thing or two about it from him on having a little less shame. Along with that, so I've been watching basketball because, I'm just such a good girlfriend. And listen, my personality is only so I have to find other ways to make up for it. And one of which is watching basketball with my boyfriend. And there's this player on the Golden State Warriors named Draymond something. I actually don't know his last name. And Draymond has like anger issues. I'm sorry. Like I'm just going to call it as I see it. In my opinion, Draymond has anger issues. In these playoffs, which have only been going on for like 2 weeks, I think he's punched 5 people so far. I mean, that's pretty nuts. Like I haven't punched 5 people in my entire 37 years on this planet. And this man has punched 5 people just in his job. I don't even know what he does in his spare time, but just in the middle of his job in the past 2 weeks. And he still shows his face every single day and does not seem embarrassed by his behavior. So why are we so embarrassed to post an Instagram story? Okay, this man is out here assaulting people at his job and he still gets to go back every fucking day. And guess what? He also has a podcast, which I actually really respect. He'll sometimes film his podcast after a game, which is so impressive. But as a result of having this podcast, he's kind of being brought in to the commentator space because he's also old as fuck and probably going to retire at some point sooner. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine if he keeps punching people, he might have to retire sooner rather than later. But nevertheless, he is kind of invited into commentating, which is pretty wild. I mean, this man is out here just assaulting people on the court and then going and sitting and cozying up with what I would consider to be like corporate, and no one's out here judging him. Why are we so embarrassed? Especially as women, we get so embarrassed over things when men are out here behaving like animals and getting ahead in life. I think we could learn a thing or two. Am I telling you to punch people? No. Am I telling you to turn yourself orange and say horribly racist shit all the time? No. What I am saying is these people are able to do these crazy ass things and be in the positions that they are. You can do something that you think is a little bit embarrassing. Who gives a fuck, okay? I do a TikTok series every single day where I say skinny, pretty, and popular. Do you know how cringy that is? I'm 37 years old. That's cringy, but I don't give a fuck, and neither should you. Number 5. Have boundaries with yourself and follow through on them. I'll give you an example of a boundary that I have with myself. When I first started posting content before I even had 1,000 followers, I thought to myself, if this takes off the way I want it to, I'm eventually going to have trolls. How am I going to handle trolls? And I spent a lot of time watching how famous people and influencers handle trolls. And I picked up what I did like and what I didn't like. And I ultimately decided that I will never engage with a troll. I'll never comment back. I'll never clap back. Something I see influencers do a lot is they'll screenshot negative comments and put them in their stories and talk about it. To me, if you leave a negative comment on my shit, you don't exist. You're not even a person. You are subhuman to me. You literally don't exist. You are not worthy of a minute or a second of my attention. And that is a boundary I really uphold with myself. I just got the craziest fucking comment yesterday. I looked at it. I whined about it a little bit to Ozzy, and then I wiped my hands of it. Didn't engage, didn't reply, didn't defend myself, didn't explain how this person was misunderstanding what I was doing. Nope, not here. That's just one example of a boundary. But whatever, you have to have boundaries with yourself. You have to kind of have rules for yourself of how you want to behave and follow through on them. Nothing is going to make you feel better about yourself than following through on intentions that you set, especially with yourself. Guess what? When that shit happened, did it feel shitty to read that crazy ass comment? Yes. But then to know that I wasn't going to engage with it, I wasn't going to reply, I wasn't going to screenshot it and put it in my stories, I wasn't going to do any of these things, then that made me feel really fucking powerful. So thank you to that asshole that left that crazy ass comment. Number 6, start in your own house. And let me explain what I mean by this, because I don't really know how to, I can't come up with a short, pithy way of explaining this. But whatever it is that you want in the world, always start by embodying that in your own house. And I can explain exactly where this came from. So for a while, I had gotten in this habit of every morning kind of talking out loud to the universe about my intentions for the day and how I wanted to be and whatnot. And one morning I thought to myself, I just want to spread love and joy and positivity to the world. And it was almost like I could hear a voice back saying to me, well, start in your own house. You have this animal right in front of you and you don't show her nearly enough love and attention because you're so busy trying to work and, create this content that's going to bring love and joy and happiness to everyone in the world. But start with her. Start with showing her more love. And I think that that's so applicable to so many things. People talk a lot about activism and all these problems in the world and whatever it is that you're concerned about in the world. Like if you're concerned about racism and bigotry, where are you sometimes judgmental or, not great? A lot of my friends who are the biggest activists sometimes say the most fucked up shit behind the scenes. And I'm like, really? Really? You just said that? Like one of my friends who's like so progressive and so liberal and does so much. I spent a weekend with her last year and she said some of the most like just microaggressive things I've ever heard in my life. Not overtly racist things, not overtly homophobic things, because she's neither racist nor is she homophobic, to be very clear. She rallies so fucking hard for these demographics, yet she's not aware of how little comments that she makes are actually so fucked up because we're so concerned with how we're being out in the world that we're not doing it internally. Some of the influencers that I know that are the most like sunshiny and bubbly on their social media treat their partners like absolute cunts. Start in your own home. Be, not to be cheesy, but be the change you want to see in the world. Truly embody it before anything else. Number 7, this is actually from Kabbalah. It's pause, what a pleasure. So anything quote unquote bad that happens to you, any challenge, anything negative, pause, do not react, bite your fucking tongue no matter how hard it is, and be grateful that it happened because it's going to teach you something and you're going to grow from it, and wait until you're completely calm before you address this. I did this in Mexico City when I was with Ozzy. He made this comment one day that really, really bothered me. I was honestly so upset about it, but I waited. I didn't say anything at the time. I waited until I literally didn't even give a shit anymore. I had no interest in bringing it up. And at that point, I brought it up with him. We had a really lovely conversation about it. We never fought. We never raised our voices. And we both got so much closer. Recently, I think it was a couple weeks ago, someone that I know made a comment to me about someone else. I can't speak about this openly, sorry. And it bothered me so much. I didn't say anything. I still have not addressed it with her because I still am not at a place where I've completely learned the lesson and absorbed it and I'm completely neutral and don't give a shit anymore. Once I get to that place, then I'll address it with her, but not a minute sooner. Trust me, embodying this is going to make such a difference, not just in your mood, but also in your social dynamics. Number 8, wear your pretties, use your pretties. What do I mean by that? Okay, I'm someone who's always had so much stuff and I never will use my favorite stuff. Like I'll save my favorite plates. I won't wear my favorite underwear, for example. It's like I'm saving them for the Queen of England to dig herself out of the grave and come to my apartment and then I'll wear my favorite underwear. What the fuck is that for? I'm living every single day. Wear your favorite shit. Use your favorite shit. What are you saving it for? Literally, what are you saving it for? It's all for you. Your life is for you. You're the main character in your own life. Start treating yourself that way. You don't have to save it for anyone or anything. Just use it. Just use it. Just wear it. Just do it. And number 9, and this is our last one. Keep going even when you don't feel like it but especially when you don't feel like it, because that's what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. Now, I'll be real with you. I wrote this down last night after I had taken a hit. And then I thought there must be examples of this. So I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave me 5 amazing examples of this. Number 1, and I'm just going to read exactly what ChatGPT said, who was basically our new co-host. Number 1, Serena Williams. She trained through grief, injury, even while pregnant. What made her legendary wasn't just talent, it was showing up to practice when her body was wrecked or her personal life was in chaos. Number 2, Stephen King. His first book, Carrie, was rejected 30 times. He threw it in the trash. His wife fished it out and told him to keep going. That perseverance, I don't know. I'm done. Okay. I feel like I've been recording a really long time, especially when he felt like giving up, is what made him a household name. Oprah Winfrey. She was fired from her first TV job and told she was unfit for television. She kept going when she had no validation or external signs of success. Now she's the standard. J.K. Rowling, she was broke, depressed, and a single mother when she wrote Harry Potter. She was rejected by 12 publishers before someone finally took a chance. Writing in cafes with a baby stroller, that's pushing through resistance. This is ChatGPT's words. And number 5, Kobe Bryant. Now, I didn't know this. Known for his Mamba mentality, he famously worked out at 4 a.m., often practicing for hours before teammates even showed up. What separated him wasn't just talent, it was the discipline to show up when it sucked. Keep these people in mind. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't make it is the people who make it just keep going even when it feels hopeless. If you keep working at something long enough, you're very, very, very likely to achieve it. Even the things that seem like they're just pure luck. You know, making it as a singer, making it as an actress, making it whatever, often does feel like it's just, there's an element of luck in there. I'm telling you, so much of luck is actually just perseverance. Probably pronouncing that wrong. Okay, and that brings us to our foods that make you blush. Now, I have 5 foods that I've highlighted that are what I would consider to be the ultimate glow up foods. Number 1, beets. They're really good for clearing bowels. They're good for moving out excess estrogen. Plus, the nitrates increase circulation, which, oh my God, I can't talk anymore, which makes your skin glowy and it helps with muscle growth and mood. Number 2, coconut water. It helps move bowels. It reduces puffiness. Plus, it hydrates you so much better than water, which helps so much with your mood and makes your skin glow. Natto. Natto is a fermented soybean product. It's very stinky, and if it doesn't appeal to you, I'm not going to force it on you, but I would consider it because it's one of the richest sources of vitamin K2, which is good for bones and heart health, but it's also really good for helping clear the skin, balancing hormones, and improving insulin sensitivity. Number 4, avocados. We talked about this last week. They're literally a skin superfood because of the vitamin E, the biotin, the monosaturated fats, and the fiber. And number 5 is snow fungus. Snow fungus is something that's very traditional in traditional Chinese medicine. It's a type of mushroom. Usually buy it in a dried form and then hydrate it, soak it. In TCM, they often make a sweet soup with it, with that snow fungus, peach gum, jujubes, which are Chinese dates, and goji berries. But I often like to just boil them with some kelp and then add some, tomatoes or whatever source of vitamin C, which sounds weird, but I really like it. It's called a vegan hyaluronic acid. It literally makes your skin plump and juicy, and it boosts your own collagen production, especially when you pair it with vitamin C. Woo! Oh my God. I feel like I've been talking for so long. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the episode. And we always end the episode with a gratitude segment because having a regular gratitude practice is scientifically proven to make you a happier and more optimistic person. And I invite you, as you listen to me list 3 things that I'm grateful for this week, to also list 3 things that you're grateful for. But I do encourage you to not just pick the top of mind things, but to just scan through your day or week and find
three new things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I made it through this entire episode because honestly, maybe I haven't been recording for that long, but it truly feels like I started talking in like Neanderthal times. Like there were literal dinosaurs around back when I first started recording, and we've made it all the way through 2025 and I haven't passed out. So I think that's a feat of accomplishment. I am grateful. Oh, I'm grateful that the reception to Blush Kitchen has been so good. It seems like you guys really, really love it, which is amazing because I had such a fun time doing it. This is such a random one, but I just can't think of anything better. I just tried the Hourglass like lip product. It's called Phantom Lip Balm something. I don't know. It's fucking amazing. I love the texture. I have shade Rise 100. It's very lightly pigmented, like almost not pigmented at all. Fucking love it. If you're looking for a new lip product, give it a try. I'm obsessed. Anyway, this week and every week, I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you for being here. You know the drill. You're going to hear it in the outro, so I won't bore you with it. We'll chat next week. Bye.
If you loved that episode as much as I hope you did, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and check out some past episodes while you wait for the new one to drop next week. And until next week, make sure to stay cunty out there.